still do writing. You need coffee or anything?
I'm gonna go get him some food. He hasn't
Okay.
eaten, so.
Joe, I'm just gonna search you, man. Make sure, can I unzip that, or do you just want me to pat you down on the outside?
I mean, I'm kind of cold, so...
Well, don't take it off, don't take it off.
Are your hands warm? Okay.
Yeah, man.
Despite the seemingly cordial exchange you just watched, 41-year-old Joseph Ferlazzo is at this point classified as extremely dangerous and unpredictable. And it's no coincidence the biggest officer at the Vermont State Police St. Albans barracks was chosen to conduct this opening sequence of his interrogation.
Long night, huh?
Yeah.
Any knives on those keys?
Oh, you know what? There's like a little baby,
How about that? I just set that right there. We do this, you know, we always make sure anybody that comes in here doesn't have any knives or anything on them. Is that your wallet?
Yeah.
You set that there for me. We're just always, you know, hyper vigilant about everything.
Yeah.
So here, have a seat, make yourself comfortable.
I think Amy said she's going to get you some food. You said you were hungry? Yeah. Okay, we'll work on that.
See if we can get you.
Thanks.
You, what were you doing? Just going to the gas station?
Yeah.
She found you?
Yeah.
No way. Were you on the side of the road?
Yeah, I was walking to the gas station.
Chilling, huh? How you do this thing? That works too. Cool, man.
Oh, it surprised me he handed it to him.
Imagine for a moment being told to go into a room with a man who just viciously murdered his wife, but act as if he has done nothing wrong, as though he were a harmless stranger in need of assistance. Your outward demeanor must show no judgment, no suspicion, and certainly no fear. While maintaining such an artificial calm in front of such an unpredictable threat, many people would jump at the sudden clatter of metal from his pocket knife being tossed across the table. And while this officer reveals the smallest crack in composure from the sheer abruptness of it, he immediately blends into the moment and maintains the desired atmosphere.
So plenty of airtime to lead up to the punchline of what this video is about, which is this dude that just brutally murdered his wife. And with that being said, now that we kind of know what we're in for, I want to welcome you all back to a new episode of Crime Time. Many of you may know this channel, JCS Criminal Psychology. My wife does not, so it will be nice to get her reaction. This is our first video from them that we're watching, which is a little bit different and slower paced, as you probably saw, but more focused on the psychology of the criminals in breaking down interrogations and how they behave. Very interesting stuff. This channel is kind of goated on YouTube. They have some of the, I would say, highest viewed criminal psychology videos on YouTube, 50 to 60 million views. So I think it'd be cool to go through a back catalog of some of these. This one, however, is one of their newest that they upload very infrequently. So
Okay. Well, they do deep dives, so I get it.
Exactly. And there's only certain cases that come along that probably make sense. So this one's called How to Interrogate a Narcissist.
Oof.
And let me tell you, let's find out.
How to avoid a narcissist should be more like it.
That'll be the next video on a DIY, how to avoid a narcissist.
That works too. Keep moving.
Cool, man.
What you're seeing here from the officer is deception, 100% pure choreography, and a particular form of psychological maneuvering that just so happens to work perfectly with this individual's personality. Anytime Joseph tries to be funny or charming, the officer responds in the appropriate manner to protect his ego. You will notice he completely strips the atmosphere of its gravity and ensures there is no tension or awkwardness in the exchange. The reason this works so well in this specific circumstance is because Joseph Ferlazzo, in our opinion, is a raging narcissist. He's so incredibly susceptible to the external.
They won me over.
Caught me off guard.
Throw
with
me
the
a nice
F-bomb.
F-bomb and I'm in.
Caught me
Hook,
off guard.
line, sinker. Mrs. Lush is in.
That's funny, dude.
Validation from the officers that he genuinely seems to believe they've taken a strong liking to him, and that he's able to control the environment through his super chill, laid-back personality. To give you some context, Joseph will go on to plead not guilty to all charges. So let's briefly jump ahead 3 years to his trial, and hear in his own words how he supposedly ended up in this interrogation chair.
Please be seated, everyone.
3 years later, it is crazy how long the legal process is so drawn out. And I mean, for good reason, I guess, when you're talking about life and death and spending the rest of your life behind bars, obviously you need to build solid cases.
Does the defense wish to present a case, Ms. Jan?
Yes, thank you. We call Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay.
Well, I could be wrong, though, too. Well, no, they probably went and bailed him out of jail, gave him a suit. Dude's keeping his fit together, though. Looking pretty svelte, hitting those push-ups in the cell.
So, Joseph, we're going to take things one subject at a time, okay?
Very good.
How are you feeling this morning?
Very nervous, very anxious, very tired. Yeah.
Okay. Reaches a point where you feel you need a break, let us know, please.
Yes.
The act he's trying to project here is that of a traumatized husband, a man who had no choice but to save his own life from an abuser. He frequently widens his eyes and performs these hard swallows to convey heightened vulnerability and emotional shock, gestures that appear semi-convincing during direct examination, but will completely fall apart under cross-examination.
So let's start with some easy information. Where were you born?
I was born in Pennsylvania, in Reading, Pennsylvania.
When did you move to Vermont?
I moved to Vermont in 2012.
Were you working as a tattoo artist at that time?
Yes, I was.
Say it's the only tattoo artist in existence to not have visible tattoos above the shirt line.
No kidding. No kidding.
Got me off guard there. I was like, you should, nothing to the face, no funny piercings, nothing. All the ears, you got the old stretched ears, but there's other things being stretched right now.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yikes, go ahead. What?
No, it was not.
It is interesting, like with the breakdown of like the physical tics and things that you would expect to see from someone. This idea that if you are a narcissist or someone who's like sociopathic to the point where you wouldn't naturally exhibit those behaviors, oftentimes they will display those behaviors, but it's not like it's like a conscious decision to try and convince someone of something versus someone that has empathy or like actual emotions who would just react naturally that way. And I don't know this guy's situation, but it sounds like JCS does.
Meet Emily.
I met Emily in 2018.
And to be clear, we're talking about Emily Ferlazzo, who was your wife, right?
Yes.
How did you meet her?
Well, I had initially met her through her friend Lauren. I can't remember her last name. Lauren.
Lauren was an apprentice in his tattoo shop who one day brought in her best friend Emily for a piercing.
When she left, I made a comment to Lauren. I said that friend of yours is something special. I said I wouldn't mind making her my next ex-wife.
Hey.
Lauren laughed.
You didn't start dating her at that point, did you?
No. I think she was seeing somebody else, and I was seeing somebody else.
Emily returns to the shop to get a tattoo. He claims that she called him afterwards, whereas records indicate he was the one who called her.
She wanted to have more tattooing done. She's like, oh my God, like, I really love this tattoo, like, and now I want more.
So
a week and a half, 2 weeks later, she's back getting more tattoos. I'm asking her how she's been in the last 2 weeks, how her tattoo healed. Her demeanor was different. She told me she had just broken up with her boyfriend. She dyed her hair a different color. She was extremely flirty. And
gasps from the gallery.
I was
what, dude?
Receptive to that. I was like, wow, like, you really seem like pretty open today. Like, and I asked her if she wanted to go.
Is there like family members there or something? Is that
have a motorcycle ride and see a tour of some of Vermont?
Oh yeah.
And did she?
Yes, she did. Yes, we took a motorcycle ride that evening.
So after that night, when did you see Lauren? I keep saying Lauren. Emily next.
The next day.
They hung out every day for the rest of the summer and eventually got married in October.
So you were happy?
I was happy.
And did she seem to be happy?
Yes, she was.
And during these first few months of your relationship, what I've already asked you, you said it was euphoric and you were both happy, right?
Yes, that's right.
What's the matter? You're looking a little...
Yeah, I'm feeling very emotional right now.
What's bothering you?
I miss her.
Let me know when you're ready to start again.
I'm okay.
You're okay?
I'm okay.
He claims the first several months of the marriage were happy, before things started going downhill.
It led to, it led to violence. And,
Explain what you mean
Like
by
physical abuse started coming into our relationship.
The only evidence of physical abuse in their relationship was of him abusing her, which colleagues in their work circles had suspected was going on.
Where she would go through my phone and then respond by beating on me.
Was she saying anything to you while this was happening?
Yeah, you know, just really, she was really angry. So, you know, you're asshole. I don't want to. Do I have to swear? Do I have to
I want
quote?
you to say what she said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she would say, you know, you're a. I can't believe you're still talking to this. And it was a friend of mine that I'd known for years, and I told her that I would stop being physical with this friend, and that our relationship wasn't going to dissolve because we were friends since 2014. Like,
was she angry?
yes, she was. Yes, she was very angry. Yes, she was assaulting me.
So she was verbally angry.
Yes.
And physically.
Yes, ma'am.
Hitting you.
Yes, physically.
And did you ever hit her back?
No, ma'am.
You never contacted the police about any of the times that she assaulted you.
The technical term for what you're seeing here is called drawing the sting. It's when the defense raises a damaging issue themselves before the prosecution can exploit it. And Joseph here seems to have practiced this one in the mirror a few times.
No, it's not their business.
Not their business. That's a motto that you live your life by, isn't it?
I'm an independent person. I'm a very private person. I don't want to dump my crap on other people.
They then got a dog, bought a camper van, and went to Bolton, Vermont for their 1-year wedding anniversary.
I don't think it's unusual for domestic violence of that nature to go unreported. When it's, I mean, in general, it's not unusual for it to go unreported just because
I know that's
of
the case,
how
yes.
complicated relationships are.
I understand that is definitely the case.
Female on male DV is probably less likely to be reported for different reasons. Like, I feel like the other way, it's like a male ego thing. I don't know.
Right, and like, do you think that there's probably some fear that then the female can turn it back and be like, no, he was hitting me?
Well,
That's
sure.
always
Sure.
got to be the case.
Sure.
But let's not assume that this doesn't happen. It's
Well,
common.
I was going to say, we can't pretend like what he's saying is the truth. It's very
Correct.
possible that they were both being very physically
Correct.
violent, or that he's completely lying and he was just the one fully perpetrating the DV. But
I know for sure women get physically violent with men as well in relationships.
oh yeah.
That is not.
As do I.
I think that some
Through
people
experience.
assume. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I had an ex who was a little crazy, and it wasn't anything like serious, but it was the type of thing where I was just like, well, that's crazy, but I've never, like, I'm a huge person. It's like, you know, it's not like.
I know, and you said she was really little too.
Yeah. Size doesn't matter too, because if things escalate too badly, it can just go as quick, like one of the previous ones we saw where there's a knife or a little close by or a gun or something, and things can go down south quickly.
This was our first like road trip as a family. So it's very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Emily too, she was
As a
in a
family?
good mood.
Is he just saying that
She was
because they're
super
married?
excited to
had a dog.
take Rosie out, and she was stoked to meet Nikki and Ariel.
Nikki is his sister, and Ariel is her boyfriend, who they were meeting up with for the
Ariel
anniversary.
is a boy's
The
name?
first night they got
Interesting.
there, while alone together in the camper van, he claims Emily started
Anything
becoming
goes.
combative, saying the anniversary idea was terrible and the camper van was stupid.
So I was like, yo, like, maybe just like pour yourself a drink and relax.
He then takes the dog out for a walk and brings his handgun with him.
It has tritium sights on
Nice.
it, so
Tritium sights is a type of sight on a handgun.
you can see in the dark. And that was, I had seen some, what I believe to be coyote. I like shown a flashlight, and I saw a couple sets of eyes in the dark, so Remington's a pretty small dog. And I just wanted to be able to protect her.
Magnificent valor.
When he gets back into the camper van, he claims Emily starts berating him about the candles he lit earlier being too bright.
And I said, it's not that bright, like, you could always just roll over. She got up, and
That's what I want to say to you sometimes if I'm scrolling on my phone, you're trying to sleep, you start kicking me. Just roll over. What are you doing? Just leave me alone. It's too hard to do it under the blankets.
You leave me alone.
Yeah.
If I'm sleeping, that is like a.
No, The pathetic part is that you will be dead asleep and still like a fully dimmed phone screen will somehow wake you up because you sleep lighter than
The lightest sleeper of all time.
lighter than a butterfly floats, dude, is the way you sleep.
Good luck to anyone trying to break into my house.
But you sleep a lot though, which is good. I don't know. There must be a point at which you hit your REM cycles, but it's certainly not
Obviously.
not when I'm going to bed. I'll tell you that.
Grabbed one of the candles.
He claims that she begins attacking him with a candlestick.
Where?
A
She hit me
candlestick?
in like my neck
this
and
Clue?
head. And in my arms.
In the camper with a candlestick?
Yeah.
And I was like blocking. I had to restrain her. I
Emily
had to, like,
Mustard?
physically grab her by her arms and like hold her arms down. And she kept kicking. She actually kicked Remy.
He says that he
Not
manages
nice.
to push her onto the side of the bed and she calms down.
I told her that, you know, that we're not your punching bags. And
You said what?
I told her that we weren't her punching bags.
We weren't.
She kicked Remy.
For the record, Emily adored animals, and this statement was deemed extremely implausible by her peers. Joseph, on the other hand, was accused by his ex-girlfriend of kicking her dog on 2 separate occasions.
And she was kicking me and punching me. And I pushed her back. And I told Remy, I was like, yo, we're gonna take a walk.
After the second walk, he gets
What did
back
Remy
into the
say?
camper van, drinks a vodka and Coke, then starts getting into his side of the bed.
So I was climbing over her, and she shouted, off. And she like threw an elbow at me, and elbowed me in my groin. And I said, no more hitting. And so we had like a bunch of throw pillows that we like lined around the bed, like the top of the bed where we slept. So one of the throw pillows was right there, and I swatted her with the throw pillow, and I said,
I'm so tempted to go down the rabbit hole of how much I hate throw pillows.
He's using it as a divider.
I know. I'm totally sidetracked by throw pillows right now. Nothing to do with this
Why
case
do you
because they're just there to be there you don't use them. They're just there to look cool during the day, and all you do is put them on them, take them off, and there's no use.
Just take out your aggression on the throat pillows. It's fine.
All right. Guess it's
stop
good
hitting.
Please remember these next 17 seconds, which we're calling the phony fugue state. He tries to present a foggy, dissociated moment of recollection, with long pauses, forced ums, and a vacant stare. But it's pure performance, and we know it's performance because he'll completely contradict this manner of recollection during cross-examination.
And that's when it happened.
What happened?
She said, that's it, you're dead. And she threw her arm under her pillow.
He earlier made the claim that both him and Emily slept with handguns under their pillows, also deemed highly implausible by witness testimony.
And she pulls her hand out with the Taurus. And
How were you feeling?
I was feeling horrified. Just
Were
like,
you afraid?
I was terrified. Like there was as soon as I saw that, like I just felt like this like wave of heat, like just like red hot. And she started like pushing her body up in an instant, and I'm like, no. And like I don't know, like she wasn't stopping. And I was holding my Glock.
He'll later claim he was in the process of putting the gun under his own pillow.
And she started just like coming up at me, and I just fired.
Why?
She was gonna shoot me.
She started
And you were
coming up at
afraid?
me.
Very.
From this point forward, he claims to have no memory of the events that followed until he woke up in a police cell 3 days later. But according
3
to
days?
corroborated evidence and witness testimony, he had breakfast with his sister the next morning, where he ordered a goat cheese omelet, a side of bacon, and a samosa. He then gave his sister a tattoo. When his sister asked where Emily was, he told her she was sleeping. He then sent a string of text messages to Emily's phone number.
All right, buddy. Like,
Wait, is
everything-
that when he shot her and killed her?
Yeah, apparently. And everything up until this point, I'm like, yeah, we're doing this kind of criminal psychological this psychology breakdown, but we don't have any real evidence to suggest that what he's saying is not true. And now we're like, okay, he shoots her that night, then goes on to have a normal breakfast the next morning with his sister, does a tattoo, orders a mimosa,
We've
and
seen this before.
starts
We've
texting
seen
her
this
phone.
before.
Yeah.
Think you're gonna get away with
Texting
it?
back and forth, and you're planning the day after how to,
Yeah.
But also claims that he had no memory for 3 days until he woke up in a police cell. Okay, pal.
The next day, he went to a bonfire.
I'll see those one more time. Babe, what are you doing? Talk to me, please. Whatever. I'm going to spend time
The
with
next
Nikki
day, he
while I
went to a
can.
bonfire party
Sister.
where he was seen taking bong hits and doing keggers. Later that same evening, he would send Emily another series of text messages.
Get your ass home. I got to go back to New Hampshire. Are you coming back? Oh, he's close by.
He went for pancakes and a samosa once again the next morning, then sent Emily one final message. It would be shortly after this message that Emily's mother asked Joseph where her daughter was and why her phone had been switched off for so long. He told her they had gotten into a fight and that he hadn't seen Emily in roughly 2 days. Emily was then reported missing. Roughly 7 hours later, as Joseph's friend was driving him back to where the camper van was parked, they noticed police had cordoned off the area. Joseph then told his friend to stop the car, at which point he got out and wandered off into the woods. His next known location was at a maple field 10 miles away, roughly 14 hours later, where by pure happenstance he was spotted by a police officer.
And what was he doing?
He was getting a drink out of the cooler and sort of stepping back from the cooler at that time.
Did you recognize the male?
When he closed the door to the cooler and he turned around and we made eye contact, I was like, wait, I know this person. In that moment, I couldn't figure out where or why. My brain was still trying to catch up with me. But I knew I recognized him.
Okay. And did you ultimately determine how you recognized him?
So there was a bowl out for him at that point.
He walked to the right and then turned to walk up to one of the aisles towards the front of the store, and he turned and looked at me again. And we locked eyes again, and at that point, I recognized that it was Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay.
It seemed to me, based on my training and experience, it was almost as if he were trying to figure out, fight, flight, freeze, what do I do?
Okay. And what did you say to him?
I said, Joseph, it's you, right? Are you okay?
This was Detective Sergeant Amy Nolan taking the initiative, and one of 2 reasons why the upcoming interrogation you're about to see unfolds the way it does. Joseph Ferlazzo was classified as a homicide suspect. She would have been entirely within her authority to draw her weapon, order him to the ground, and wait for backup to secure the arrest. Instead, relying on her experience and a remarkable amount of both courage and composure, she seized a unique opportunity when it presented itself.
Okay. And what did he do in reply?
He took his drink down and his body language sort of deflated. And he said, no, I'm not okay.
She very gradually explains that he's not in trouble and not under arrest, but feels it could be a good idea for him to accompany her back to the police barracks.
And so did you bring him back to the barracks?
I did. The other thing that we did sort of in that halfway point was I asked him and explained before I could give him a ride. It was our sort of protocol that we had to pat somebody down for weapons before I could allow him in my cruiser with me, and also because I don't have a typical cruiser with what they call the cage in the back to separate the officer from a person that they've picked up for some reason. So he said that was fine. He indicated he had no weapon, so I patted him down real quick.
So it was just you and Mr. Ferlazzo in the ride back to the
Sketchy,
barracks?
dude.
Correct.
I wonder if he was cuffed.
Did you speak to him during that time about Emily?
So dangerous.
Not about Emily. I asked him, like I said, it was cold that day. I asked him, are you cold? He said he was. I turned the heat up. I said, have you been out all night? Based on the interactions that I knew had occurred the night before, he said he had. I asked him if he, was thirsty, if he was hungry. He said he was. And so, again, I told him, I turned the heat up and I told him I would get him something to eat once we got back to the barracks.
The journey to the police station took just under 7 minutes. The second factor behind how this interrogation unfolds
this
is
is
Sergeant Nolan's ability to brief her.
Do you know what? I kind of like spaced when, remember you made a comment like, oh, that's totally normal behavior for an innocent person. What happened? He like got out of his friend's car because they noticed something was
They were headed back to the
corded
camper.
off or whatever?
Yeah, they headed back to the camper where he had shot her, I guess.
Yeah.
And this was followed with his friend. And yeah, the parents of the girl had reported her missing, probably, so the police had already found it and cordoned it off. So she was probably found at that point.
Okay, and so, he got out before they could get there? Is that what happened?
Correct. His friend, he got out of his friend's car and just bolted into the woods, like for the whole night. So very innocent person behavior, definitely.
Colleague at speed. It took roughly 30 seconds for the suspect to be greeted at the door by the precinct's commanding officer and walked to interview room 3, during which time she managed to relay the circumstances of his arrest and the precise approach required for this interaction.
Cool, man.
What time did your shift start?
We start at 8.
You do
on day shift, so
You do like 8 to 8, like a 12 or something?
No, 9. It's either 9 or 10 hours.
I'm gonna go get you a sandwich, but will this hold you over? You're not gonna eat that? Okay, I'll go get ham, turkey.
Somebody will eat that. I know.
Somebody will.
I know.
A bunch of cops around, somebody will. It
Somebody.
was the closest food I could find.
You know, bring it.
All right, you got it.
I appreciate your effort.
You got it. All right,
Choosing
I'll get you a sandwich.
It's a donut. Shut up and eat it.
Brother, I'm not going to eat that. You worried about your physique? I mean, he does look like he's someone that cares
He was
about his
eating
physique.
pancakes and samosas for breakfast. He can eat a donut.
He's
It'll
like,
be all right.
what are the macros on that, honestly? He's like, I know I'm about to go away for life, but like, I want to be looking good before I roll into the jail cell.
Who doesn't like donuts? I don't.
I laid off sugar for
I knew
a
he had
while.
crazy in his eyes.
Hey, man.
Oh my God.
You interested in the blanket?
Yeah.
Craziest thing he's done so far is say no to donut. No, there are people that don't actually like sweets as much as you do. I know that's hard to believe. I can't understand it because I love sweets, but I don't have the same obsession as you. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, there you go.
It's cold out there.
It's not what you want for a night in the cold recovery meal.
Yeah, that's serious.
Take what you can get.
New faces, I guess, huh?
I guess, yeah.
A lot of turnaround.
Getting text updates from my wife. Today was my daughter's first day in daycare.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get pictures and stuff?
Not yet. I asked for some. So I was nervous this morning.
You were?
Yeah. She's never been to a daycare or anything before.
She's going to come back with, like, a runny nose.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
That's how I got what I believe was COVID.
Did you?
It was 2019. This cute little kid, literally his entire face was a booger.
Oh, yeah.
But he was beautiful. He had these huge, like, sausage
COVID in
for eyeballs,
2019?
like big long lashes like this.
Yeah.
And I'm holding them at arm's length, and I'm like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, I'm so sick from this. But it was cute. I bounced him on my lap. And
sure enough.
For the record, I know a lot of people that thought they got COVID in 2019 before it became like COVID, assuming that there was
presents similarly in many
well,
cases.
Not only that, but it's very feasible that there were, before it became a super spreader event, that there were cases in the United States before we knew what was going on. Before we knew about the Wuhan bat.
You got sick?
so sick. Yeah. I think it was COVID. It was like a...
Did you lose like smell and taste and all that?
Not really.
Yeah, so
Not really. It was just kind of like your run-of-the-mill sort of flu.
So it was the flu.
He talks
So
about
you had the flu.
COVID
Cool.
for another 2
Or cold.
minutes while the detective
Man cold.
continues pretending to be interested in what he has to say.
You know, I masked and I didn't mask and I touched things and I didn't use hand sanitizer every second, and really I just lived my life the way I was living it.
Yeah.
I just tested negative.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure whatever the fuck that thing was in 19 was the thing. The big bad boogie monster.
Yeah, right.
Of the super flu that we had to shut America down for.
Crazy times.
He launches into a brief monologue on the global economic fallout of the pandemic.
Nice.
But then on the low, like everybody's like spending their savings, so then it, but then it jumped back
Economic
up.
stimulus.
Yeah. I imagine that's got to be pissing some people off.
Probably. Cool.
Okay.
Joe? Are you the guy I'm going to talk to? Is it Joe?
I love the, like, freshly murdered my wife, went on the run, got caught to COVID monologue pipeline. It's a great little transition.
Because in his mind, he is innocent.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's just chilling. It does take a certain type of person to be able to kind of act so, just nonchalant. Just totally nonchalant. Just having a cool conversation with my cop buddy,
Joseph, which do you prefer? Do you have a preference?
Whatever's easier for you.
Whatever you prefer. I'm James.
James?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. This is Seth. How are you? Dude, that's a bit nice.
Detectives?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Cabby. This hangs right there.
I don't need it for anything.
All right.
Investigators.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Take your fingernails out.
Hey, we're just going to shut the door just for privacy purposes. I'm sure you saw there's a few people walking around.
The actual reason the door is being shut is because it locks from the outside, a standard safety protocol for high-risk cases in Franklin County.
You need,
The detective appears noticeably uneasy about the pocket knife being left on the table. He'll be visibly on edge during the early stages of this interrogation, yet still perform exceptionally well. And this is perhaps our favorite interrogator so far on this channel, because he is the exact opposite of the person he is sitting across the table from.
Looks like Lex Friedman.
you need anything? I see you got water. Somebody got you some food?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Food.
All right. So like I said, my name is James. This is Seth. We work for the state police. We're detectives. We've been trying to get up to speed on what's going on today, and it's our understanding that you might be able to help us kind of understand a few things. We are happy to listen. Our ultimate goal is to find Emily.
So they haven't found her.
And we're hoping that you can help us with that.
They haven't.
Or they haven't, they're just going to let him try and lead.
They're trying to see what they can get out of him first before providing information. Maybe.
Before we get going,
Or he buried her in the
I
woods.
just want to be fair to you. Obviously, we're here in a state police barracks, right? And I just said we're the state police. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of the rights that you have. So I'll read these to you. We're here in St. Albans, Vermont.
Close by, man.
All right. Well, why don't we, I think what would be helpful for me is just have you start from the beginning of what happened, and start from the beginning, and we'll listen. And then, maybe at the end we'll have a few questions, but we'll go from there. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll turn it over to you. So, kind of what happened?
So I came to Vermont. I was living in New Hampshire for like the last 2 months with my wife and her family. And I came to Vermont. We were supposed to have like a weekend away, like vacation, do some camping, like have some fun. And like as soon as I like put the vehicle in park, like my wife went completely berserk, like completely psychotic. And I shot her as a result of that. And
talk about an epic chat GPT summary right there. He's just like, yeah, she got pissed, I shot her. And that was it.
What? Wait, I'm so confused right now.
Well, now he's clearly he's going to be trying to play the self-defense mode in his brain now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's going that route.
Yeah, he knows that now it's like they're going to whatever, now he has to play the self-defense card. I don't know what he was trying to do before getting caught, like if he was going to try to go on the run or what was going on, because clearly he was kind of evading. But now like I feel like he didn't know, as much of a narcissist as he is, like he didn't have a good plan. Because to be like at the gas station, you've been on the run all night, and then to just kind of willingly submit to this female police officer, I guess maybe at that point, like you're not going to run. She probably has a gun, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. Like if she needs to, she's going to get you.
Yeah. And part of the narcissism might be like, oh, things have changed, but I can still beat this. So I'm going to
I can still control the narrative here.
Yeah, I'm going to switch my tune real quick, and I can figure this out from inside the police station,
now here we are.
Here we are.
So,
All right. Can you, where did that happen?
Bolton, Vermont.
Okay. All right. So, I guess my next question is, when did that happen?
He says it happened early on Friday morning at the Bolton ski resort, which is 4.5 days prior to this moment. He then makes a passing comment about, quote, cleaning up after the incident.
I don't know. I don't know anything past that.
Oh, he's doing
Okay. Describe what you mean when you say you cleaned up.
I'm blacked out.
There was like blood coming out of her head, so I like put a bag over it.
Shot her in the head, dude?
And,
yikes.
Cleaned up. There was blood on the pillow, so I just bagged everything up.
Okay. Where's Emily?
She's in the bus.
Where in the bus?
In the bathroom.
She's in the bathroom. I haven't been in the bus. So can you describe the bus for me? Like what's the layout? You walk through the doors.
There's a bathroom and a kitchen and a bed.
He draws out a diagram of the inside of the camper van.
Okay. And so after you kind of clean up and you put Emily in the bathroom, what do you do?
I don't know. The following morning, I had some breakfast with my sister. I had some coffee and some breakfast with her.
Okay. Tell me about that.
I had some coffee and some breakfast with my sister.
In the Airbnb?
The coffee was in the Airbnb.
Imagine being able to go out to breakfast the next day with your sibling and
That's the real crazy.
acting to in a manner in which his sister probably had no idea what had happened. That's nuts, dude. That's how you know someone's crazy. Like that. Like if you just turn yourself in, like call 911, like whatever, set the scene, you could have had a shot at the self-defense thing. But like this whole like going out to breakfast with my sister and running around for 4 days, pretending like I blacked
Going
out.
on a campfire
like,
with the bongs.
It's always like, oh, I just panicked. I didn't know what to do.
And we ran down the street for some breakfast.
Okay.
Like I'm not
Did
eating
you
the
talk
next
about
morning.
what
You can't. How do you eat
No.
after that?
No?
No, I was meeting her new boyfriend, so.
Okay. All right. Did they
Ordered
ask
a mimosa?
about Emily?
Yeah.
What'd they ask?
I'm just like, what's her deal?
What'd you say?
She's got a hole in her head.
I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, my role is like her husband, but also I'm just a punching bag. Like, and
Did they ask where she was when you went out to breakfast? What'd you say?
she's still sleeping.
Okay. So, all right.
He rambles through a series of unrelated tangents before getting to the moment when his friend was driving him
Talking
back
about
to the
COVID
camper
again.
van, and he saw the police officers waiting outside.
And he turned the car around.
I promise to God it was COVID. It was summer 2019. Can we get back to the camper, please? Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
And I was like, listen, I'm going to jump out of this car, so, like, I can't do this right now. I just need some air. Like, I can't breathe. I'm, like, overheating. Like, so I got out. And
That's when his friend was driving him back to the camper.
that was it. He drove away.
Where'd you sleep last night?
I found a tarp and just rolled myself up under a rock.
Nice.
It was dark. I just heard a tarp blow and I wrapped myself up. I was freezing and shivering. And I found a place that was like, no, it was crazy windy, 40 degrees. So I was just trying to stay warm.
Okay.
I was just wander again less than.
Well, I appreciate you telling me all that and kind of doing the time span from Friday when you got to Vermont to kind of how we ended up here today.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
is that
plenty.
okay? What I'd like to do is really focus in on Friday itself and the incident with you and Emily, and
Am I free to
kind of
go?
go over that with a little bit more detail. Is that fair? So my understanding from what you told me is that you got into Vermont between 7 and 8 p.m.
The initial release of the interrogation footage cuts out at this moment. What we know is that they decided to take a break, and Joseph went to use the bathroom. The footage resumes 13 minutes later. Joseph's demeanor while outside the interrogation room was reportedly bizarre, which officers later described as a feigned mild panic attack, noting that he appeared to be forcing a state of vulnerability as a way of presenting himself as the victim. You'll see remnants of it as he now interacts with the officer who escorted him to the bathroom.
Need anything else? You good?
Some company?
Yeah, I'll stand right here. Absolutely.
Can you come sit?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Sam.
Trying to control the situation a little?
Nice to meet you.
Are you the individual that sort of comes in during the breaks and sits with Mr. Ferlazzo?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'll sit with you.
Stanley.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, he's got sleeve tattoos at least. His tattoo artist.
Where? You can see?
I've been in Vermont my whole life.
Yeah, it was coming out of his sleeve when he was drinking his coffee.
Yeah. I've been with the state police for almost 24 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
What's your favorite part of doing this?
A very
Catching the
interesting
bad guys.
detail of this moment is that Sergeant Truex could not once recall being asked such a simple question in his 24 years of service. He hadn't once been to therapy, and remarkably can't remember a single moment where he actually sat down and reflected on such a straightforward concept. So the fact that the moment finally arrives from a psycho murderer playing with his food makes his forthcoming pause of contemplation somewhat absurd, yet absolutely compelling.
Just trying to do the best we can for people's families. Probably.
Yeah, it's super important.
Turkey sandwich?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Let me grab you a couple of napkins.
or something? I'll go grab some.
You don't eat carbs, do you? You took all the bread off. I noticed that. Make
Smart
a little,
man.
little lettuce wrap. Do what
You
gotta
were
do.
right.
Dude, I'm telling you, like
This
it's
guy's
that,
worried about his macros.
It's the control, man. It's like everything has to be, you know, like he thinks everything has to be controlled. A lot of people try to eat low carb, but it's very peculiar in this situation to be caring about carbohydrate intake.
Or calorie or anything. Like
In his mind, it's like there.
Like he's going home?
That's what I mean. Like the emotion, there's the normal emotional response that like you and I would get, or someone going through a traumatic experience.
You wouldn't
like
be
this.
eating. Your wife just died.
None of that matters. But like this is just another day for him, and he's thinking about his macros, which is very like that. Like these are like the very interesting, telling things about someone's actual psychological state. And I do wonder about people like this, if you know, even like the panic attack bit, all of it is just calculated.
What's calculated? What's real?
Downstream of sociopathy is like the inability to feel empathy or just certain types of emotions that you normally would in high stress situations like this. And you know, you see it in the movies all the time from the 90s where it's like the sociopath has to like fake, you know, the Edward Nortons faking their distress when in their head they can just turn it off and on like that, and it's all just fully cold and calculated. Makes you wonder. You never really know, but it does seem
Well, I
like
mean,
there's...
if I'm not burning the calories, why would I put them in?
Right.
Oh my God.
They ease back into it by asking him non-threatening questions, mainly about his travel patterns in the days following the incident.
Yeah, I think I stopped at that gas station right there and just got right on 89.
Had so many tickets on 89 back in the day.
What was the plan with Emily's body? Like if the police hadn't shown up last night at the bus, what was your plan?
I didn't really have a plan.
Yeah.
I was just gonna like take it into the woods and drop it off.
Where?
I don't know. Like I said, I had no plan. I was just gonna take it into the woods and drop it off.
Did you use your phone at all to like search anything? Relate like were you like
Kind of
what do I do?
dispose of a dead
That kind
body?
of thing? Did you do any like Google searches or Safari searches about what you should do?
No.
Didn't look up anything?
No.
Okay. Just asking.
Yeah, no.
Trying to make sure.
Because we're going to find out anyways.
Did you use your phone to search anything in this past weekend related to what happened on Friday? No?
No, I didn't have any questions.
Okay.
I didn't. Nothing that I was like, ooh, I wonder what the other humans do. Like, I didn't.
When you said earlier that you put the bag over Emily's head, did you just put it over her head or like her whole body in a bag?
Now her body's bagged up.
Her whole body's bagged up? Describe that to me.
So, I cut her body and put it in multiple bags.
He did. Why are they always cutting the bodies up? He cut her up. That's such an escalation of like.
It is.
It is. That's such an escalation. I don't care what your defense is, how good it is. The second you start cutting bodies up, you're a psycho. There's just no coming back from that. Oh, but you're a capable man with worried about his macros and not eating carbohydrates when he's getting ready to face life in prison. You could carry the body to the woods. Cutting it up is just...
Listen, you're the one that always talks about how hard it is to carry a dead body and like dead weight. And it is, and I get it.
That last case was a 60-year-old woman trying to carry an old dude. This is a young, capable, fit man carrying a probably a much smaller female, probably more doable. Still heavy in dead weight, and you know, but yeah, the second you start cutting bodies up, whoop, you're washed, buddy. You're just psychotic. There's no coming back from that. That's purely for your own pleasure at that point.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
What do you use?
Like, how did you cut her body?
Yeah.
Yes.
I used a saw and cut her body into smaller, you know, I backed it up and I was going to take it in the woods.
Okay. Where did you do that?
Very innocent-like behavior.
On the bus? Okay. Where's the saw?
On the bus.
What kind of saw is it? Describe it to me.
Hand saw.
Just a hand saw? Did you carry any out into the woods? Every piece of Emily's body is still on that bus?
Where I made the little circle in that little paper.
Okay. That's important.
Is it?
Yeah. Sorry guys, I know this is probably not an awesome way to have your day go.
Well, those are the, those are the details that I was talking about that are important for us to know.
Yeah.
Also, not once has he asked for a lawyer. I always wonder about that, like when people don't ask for a freaking lawyer. You're like really getting into the nitty gritty here.
Always ask for a lawyer. I mean, that's like he thinks he's got it figured out. Dude, look at him. He's so calm and collected right now. He's talking about cutting up his wife's dead body like several days ago, and he's just chilling, like eating a turkey sandwich with no bread. It's just
turkey lettuce wrap.
Wild to watch. Truly, there's just like a hippocampus or something in the brain that's normally supposed to fire when you're under stress, and he just doesn't have it. Chopped her up. It's going to carry in the woods. Didn't quite get there in time.
This investigation is going to take time, and those details will come out, but...
It sure did. We were talking, what, three years? That the footage we saw from the courtroom was 3 years after this interrogation, which is crazy.
He's probably had a bunch of court dates before that, though. Of course. It's just like, I don't know. I definitely don't understand the long, drawn-out process.
But what are they waiting? I guess in a case like this, I mean, what are they trying to... I don't know the actual charges. Maybe they'll talk about it, but it's like, it's not a question of whether it's more about like intent, like was there premeditation, all of these things. Or was it strictly like self-defense and then panic that made you want to cut her up and get rid of her? Those are things that I guess take a long time to try and figure out through various details.
I think it's better to hear it from you. So, with that being said, what else haven't we talked about that is important for us to know about what happens to Emily?
That's it. We talked about all of it.
All of it?
I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay. So I think we're going to step out for a minute. Do you need more coffee or water or anything?
No, I have both.
You have both? You have to use the bathroom?
No.
Dunkin' cups?
I think those are your chips.
No, you can eat them. I don't eat chips.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
Of course not.
Starches.
don't eat any starch?
Does it play games with your stomach, or you just don't need it?
No, I mean, if I was going to go hiking, maybe, if I needed it, but I'm sitting here, not doing anything.
Big carnivore guy.
Okay.
Back to being cold.
I mean, I feel like that right now. I'm an ice cube. I freaking hate.
When you would leave the room and come back in, did he recall who you were?
Yes. Passing moments like this may seem inconsequential, yet it's the prosecution's way of establishing mental competency, effectively neutralizing any possible argument that he was operating in a diminished or compromised state.
How you doing, Joe? You feeling better?
Not really.
No?
Not really. So past this part, like how much do you know about like the next part?
Like in general, or?
Yeah.
So every case is a little bit different. You know, first of all, the other detectives are going to want to make sure that what you're saying is true. And Emily's on the bus.
You have cigarettes?
I have them right here.
Oh, thanks.
That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to verify some stuff, and then, you know.
Cigarette time.
Yeah.
You want one? Oh my I heard.
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
The conversation
no carbs,
was
but cigarettes, no
casual
problem.
as they went out for a cigarette.
I bet he eats carbs after he takes bong rips.
You know, having this open conversation, I might as well ask, is like,
Ask me anything.
you know, to
Before this investigator went outside with Joseph for a cigarette, he was briefed on some additional details. One of them was that almost 12 years to the date, Joseph's stepmother was stabbed to death in her own home. The case was never solved. They also discovered that in addition to shooting his wife twice, he stabbed her 18 times.
Wait, what?
That's a whole different story.
That's very different. Then boom, I took her out in a shot or two.
Stabbing is
out of self-defense.
such a different story than bullets. And did that come before or after the gunshots? Because two things, like A, if you stabbed her 18 times and then shot her in the head, that's basically an execution. And two, if you shot someone in the head and then stabbed them 18 times afterwards, that's
I mean, he had no problem chopping her up.
That's just for fun. Yeah, that's just for fun. That's for fun.
I'm gonna go with that one probably. I mean,
you think he stabbed her? No, I think he's trying
to.
I think he's trying to make it.
Chopped her up.
Yeah, that's crazy. What it said, his stepmother got brutally stabbed.
Yes, and it
And
never went
solved.
Gee.
Wow, interesting. He's been going a decade as.
So he got away with one, maybe. I mean,
we're speculating. We have no idea that he was involved in that, but
maybe he did.
Sure. Yeah.
So he can do it again.
Yeah.
Is this the first time that something like this has happened?
Yeah.
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 It seems like pretty.
It's awful.
Pretty in depth.
It's fucking awful, dude. Like, I don't know if it was you or if it was Sam, but if you would have talked to me a week ago, it would have been on the top of the list of things that I would never do. But it's been...
I like to think that shooting and stabbing your wife is at the top of most people's list of things not to do. He's like, it's just you got me at the wrong time. If you called me last week, I'll tell you, I would have said, no, not me. I wouldn't brutally execute my wife, but dude, Vermont, something in the air just makes me feel a little funny. It's a weird way to phrase it.
Brutal week. Like nonstop, like morning to night.
Emily was upset because the location he chose for their one-year anniversary was the exact location his ex-girlfriend was staying, and that's what he's currently talking about.
And I don't know what the hell happened. It's just like a complete change.
All right. Well, why don't we go see where they're
Yeah.
and
Let me just put your name in here, okay? So it's Joseph, right?
Yep.
Joe, so this is Amy?
I met Amy.
We met.
Oh, okay. So Amy's...
What do you need from me?
Amy's going to take your pictures.
They first take pictures of his face, hands, and clothing.
Okay, so I'm not going to do swabs of your hands, but, all right, so I have not watched your interview, but my understanding is that there was some kind of physical altercation with you and Emily, and that you may have been struck, hit, kicked, something like that.
Right.
Will you consent to me taking photographs of you without clothing on? And if you're not comfortable with it being me, I can have Robbie do it, to see if there's any bruising on you. I mean, we can get, like, I could do chest and maybe legs if do you have underwear on?
What the hell did we just watch?
I mean, we can get, like, I could do chest and maybe legs if you have underwear on?
It's like, yeah, bro.
Our personal take on what he's doing here must have something to do with Sergeant Nolan's tactical display of approachability during their encounter, something that Mr. Ferlazzo has catastrophically misread, and maybe feels he can use to his advantage in this situation somehow, or perhaps just deepen whatever distorted sense of self this is feeding into. Whatever the case, it's just so excruciatingly embarrassing that we almost didn't put it in this video.
If you're willing...
The commentary is so good.
So embarrassingly Nelson. The way they highlight the way he's taking off his jacket, like he's getting ready to or something. Like he's like, she wasn't even done talking. She hadn't even uttered, "Do you have underwear on?" And he's like stripping clothes off, like, ready to go, dude. What the hell? Come on, dude.
If you're willing to let me, as part of the consent, to do photographs of your body as well. Okay.
He's like,
Not a
just getting
single
over
bruise
there.
or
Oh my
scratch
god! Oh my
was
god!
discovered on his body. Not one. Though he was sure to point out some ever so slightly reddish marks on parts of his skin that he could have got from sleeping out in the woods, or perhaps a moderately hot...
Bro, the back length tribal piece is sending me right now. That is...
He has quite a bit of untouched canvas, though. Like, he's got a lot of blank space. Yeah.
Marks on parts of his skin that he could have got from sleeping out in the woods, or perhaps a moderately hot shower. The moment he was finally informed that he was under arrest and going to jail was regrettably not captured on video. As mentioned before, the initial release of this footage came partially redacted, but you can rest assured that it will all come full circle before this video concludes.
Okay. All right, you're all set. Thank you.
Dude was ready to take those clothes off. Holy cow, that was nuts.
All right, this is where it's going to get juicy now. Because he's going to contradict himself.
Yeah, and now, so this is probably the cross right here.
It is, it just said it.
Because I think the thing we saw earlier was his defense attorney interviewing him. The truth is that before leaving New Hampshire, you stopped at Market Basket. Maybe it's my Market Basket. So this, for whatever case, anytime a case happens like near
New England?
In New England or in New Hampshire, where I lived for many years in New Hampshire, it's like it just feels more personal and relevant. You're like, oh, maybe that was the Market Basket I used to shop at. Stupid, I know.
It is that before leaving New Hampshire, you stopped at Market Basket.
The Market Basket supermarket was where he went to buy the tools to dispose of Emily's body, a moment beyond what he's now claiming to remember. And you'll notice how incredibly attuned he is to the challenges directed toward this assertion. His claim of having no recollection beyond a certain moment is designed to support the idea that he entered some kind of fugue state brought on by shock, suggesting that in his right mind, he would never have dismembered his wife or attempted to bury her in the woods. It's also the explanation he leans on for why he failed to clearly articulate during his interrogation how gravely his life was in danger, the key detail of his self-defense claim.
Right?
I did see that, yes.
That's the truth.
I saw that on the PowerPoint.
And it's the truth.
I don't remember it, but yes.
And you spent $60.43 at Market Basket?
Is that what happened? I don't remember sending the text, but you have it there in front of you, so.
And you said to her, I'll see you in the morning.
All right.
And you said, you still drink coffee?
All right.
You said that to your sister?
That was what I said to her? That's you have that?
Would you like to see the text?
I don't remember the text. I don't remember the text exactly, so if you have them, then,
Do you want to see them?
I mean, I don't have to. If you're going to read them to me, then we can do it this way. Or
So you've testified that Emily was mad when you got to Bolton.
She was angry.
A detail mentioned by several people in the courtroom who knew Ferlazzo personally was that parts of his speech and articulation had noticeably changed during this testimony, especially the word yes. The way you'll hear him say this word isn't how he usually spoke.
So Emily's mad at you. You guys argue, is that correct?
Yes.
And she's rebuffing you.
Yes.
She doesn't want to dance.
Is that?
No.
She doesn't want the candles on.
Correct.
She just wants to go to bed.
She didn't say anything to me.
She went and laid down in the bed.
Yes.
Yes.
She's facing outward, scrolling on her phone.
It's like amused by it.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
you're
What the
sitting down on the couch.
What is he saying? Why is he acting like this? So strange. Yes.
I think the whole thing's probably amusing to him.
And just constantly just like, yes. Yes. Keeps leaning in and out of it.
Correct?
When?
When Emily's saying these hurtful things to you. You're sitting on the couch.
No.
You're in the bed.
No.
You're standing in the aisle.
Yeah, I was doing some,
You're yoga dancing.
Yes, that's correct.
You light some candles,
Yes,
and Emily doesn't like the candlelight.
that's correct.
And
Doesn't
she
like
tells you
candlelight.
to put them out.
That's also correct.
And you don't put them out.
No, I don't.
And she gets up and she grabs one of these candles.
Yes.
These big Yankee candles.
Yes.
Glass.
Yes, ma'am.
Heavy.
Very.
And she starts hitting you in the head with it.
Yes, ma'am.
And in the body.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're
And there's no evidence of that.
0 marks. Not a single blemish. Guy's built out of titanium, I'll tell you what. Very impressive.
able to grab onto her and get the candle away from her.
That's correct.
And that is over. She goes and lays back down.
Yes.
When you came in, she was in the bed.
Yes.
Yes.
And you are trying to relax,
Yes.
trying to enjoy your vacation,
Yes.
and you make a decision,
What decision?
the decision that you need to stop this.
I was having some drinks and smoking.
You decided enough is enough. I'm going to put an end to this.
No.
You got up.
During direct examination, he had a 1,000-yard worried stare as if lost in reflection. Here, he almost continuously glares at the prosecutor, perhaps thinking that projecting this abrasive display of confidence will render him more credible. The issue is that during direct, he presented himself as a broken husband who struggled to recall anything closely connected to the incident. Yet now he's steely-eyed and steadfast. You could argue that the change in questioning style caused the shift in his energy, but it's the extent of the shift and the complete disappearance of the emotional fragility he displayed earlier that makes the argument he is being deceptive. And just to be clear, I believe he's being 100% fraudulent in both these instances. His true self is still an enigma that I doubt has appeared once in this video.
Yeah.
You got up from the couch
Truly.
where you were having your drink.
I wasn't on the couch.
You told the police that you got up.
I don't remember talking to the police.
You heard yourself tell the police that you got up.
I saw a video.
And you
I was-
heard yourself tell the police that you got up.
I saw the video.
Wait, so he's now claiming he doesn't remember the
Because he doesn't
interrogation?
remember those couple of days.
The interrogation, though?
I guess.
Because they said something about him not remembering until
Like
he woke
3
up in a
days or something
police
before
precinct.
it-
So, like, he's claiming to not remember the interrogation until he was in a holding cell afterwards, maybe?
I guess so.
That's crazy.
And you got your Glock.
Are we talking about the video?
And when you realized that you had just shot your wife, you didn't call 911.
No.
You didn't go and get your sister.
No.
You told the police that you put her wallet in a bag.
I don't remember talking to the police.
I understand that, Mr. Ferlazzo, but you've listened to the video and you've heard your words. So you told the police that you put her wallet in a bag, correct?
I did see the video.
And you heard you utter the words, I put her wallet in a bag.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You heard
Oh,
yourself
the
say
video
those
on the video?
Yes.
I saw the video. Yeah.
And you heard yourself say, I put her wallet in a bag.
Yes, I did.
You're able to give her that tattoo and successfully give her that tattoo.
The next day.
Still,
Still.
no memory.
Mr. Ferlazzo, that is your contact information, right?
What do we got here?
You did remember what day of the week it was when you were meeting with James and Seth?
From the video?
This is my favorite moment of cross-examination. He's about to make eye contact with the prosecutor, and something about how she responds, and perhaps how she looks at him, will shake his feigned exterior just that little bit.
From reality.
We are talking about the video, right?
We're talking about reality.
Okay.
So, Mr. Ferlazzo,
From the video bit is so overdone. It makes it like.
Because he's like,
yeah.
well, did I see that? Because then I'll confirm it. If not, then no, I'm not going to answer.
Yeah, it just feels.
Then I have to remember to pretend I didn't know what was happening.
So stupid.
So he will not stop asking that.
Thinks this is gonna work.
we can agree that you lie.
Yes, I have lied to people.
You're lying today.
About?
Everything.
I'm sitting here giving you my recall of what I have to work with.
No questions.
So as you heard earlier, multiple segments of Joseph's interrogation were redacted before the footage made its way onto social media. Yet the prosecution made certain the jury viewed it in its entirety. What you're about to watch is, in our opinion, the result of a potent mix of sleep deprivation, mental exhaustion, and an extraordinary lack of situational awareness, very likely enhanced by the calibrated framing that occurred during the opening sequence of his apprehension. He had spent the entire night freezing in the woods, likely terrified and in a state of panic, after coming down off a 3-day bender of drugs and alcohol. Then, while at his most depleted, he was met by a figure of authority who offered him warmth and understanding, followed by another reassuring encounter where the rapport seemed effortless and disarming. The focus of the moment was subtly shifted away from the horror of what he had done, onto his own inflated sense of worth and self-pity, followed by a continuous process of positive affirmations and ego reinforcement, all of which forged the environment and the oncoming result that occurred in the 3 previously redacted segments of footage you are about to watch.
How does that turn into, I heard you say that you shot her, so explain how that incident continued.
I don't know. Something inside me said enough is enough.
Okay. Can you describe Emily when you shot her? Like, what was she doing? She had stopped fighting, and she had gone and laid down, and I went and jumped on top of her. And I shot her in the head.
Wow.
He just wrecked himself right there.
That is an interesting admission right there. That's not self-defense.
You're claiming self-defense, meaning you were fearful for your life.
She laid back down, you jumped on her and
in that
put
moment.
a bullet in her head. And when was the stabbing? I'm still curious. Was that?
Well, clearly it sounds like he shot her first.
And
when he opened up his chop shop, when he started stabbing her, he got some supplies.
Oh my god.
He rips her apart.
Yeah, I don't know how far after that was. So, like, if he had time to let it digest first, like, what am I going to do? All right, I need to cut her up to get rid of her. Like,
it said that he went to Market Basket to get the supplies.
Is that what they were suggesting with Market Basket?
She said something about you spent $60 and that's where you got stuff to clean up her body.
Okay.
I believe that's what the prosecutor had said.
Okay. How many times?
2 times.
If you could talk to Emily's parents, is there anything that you would say?
I mean, clearly I would apologize for being such a shit.
What about Emily?
Huh?
What about Emily? What would you say to Emily?
You don't treat people like this. I can tell you that I wish it didn't happen. I wish I could turn back time. I wish that I was just, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever just like wanted to be a but I mean, I don't do it that well, like, so
Yeah.
I'm usually just like, okay, like, he'll talk about it, fix it, you know, whatever, but.
So you felt she was being kind of like a just to be a
Yeah.
Alright.
You know, like, I don't think that, you know what I mean, like, I suppose it would be like, if I told you guys and you're just both like looking at me, you know, but I'm sure you're thinking like, wow, this dude, what the you know, like, what pushes a man to do such a thing? Like, I would never do that. And believe me, if you would have asked me last week, I would have said the same thing. Like,
I love, that's my favorite part, where he's just like, if you asked me last week, I definitely wouldn't have viciously murdered my wife. But, you know, it's just tough couple days, dude.
I've never been in your shoes though.
Had Joseph Ferlazzo been met with immediate confrontation and transparency, none of this would have plausibly occurred. His demeanor and method of response from cross-examination is likely what you would have seen throughout this interrogation. Yet due to the powers permitted under U.S. protocol, he was guided to a place where he could no longer walk back from. Now, before moving on to the final part of this video, we need to explore the nuance of this particular element, and why that nuance matters. As many of you will know, the permitted use of deception in American policing is extremely controversial, as it's been known to put innocent people into prison through false confessions. Many of these cases have gone viral over the years, with perhaps the most recent involving Thomas Perez Jr.
Well, this video is incredibly disturbing to watch. The man being interrogated is Thomas Perez Jr. He reported his father missing. Fontana police accused Thomas of killing his dad.
It was August of 2018. Fontana police were convinced Perez's father had been murdered. They thought Perez appeared suspicious.
It's really concerning to me that he hasn't been back yet.
They asked Perez to come to the station, and that's where they turned a missing person case into a 17-hour interrogation.
You murdered your dad.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Yeah, yes. Daddy's dead because of you.
We just told you we found your dead dad, and you don't give a.
They even brought in Perez's best friend to try and get a confession.
Dude, they got you a murder, Dad. They got you a murder. Impossible.
When that didn't work, detectives brought in Perez's dog.
Oh my God.
And he's dead. And your dog is sitting here looking at you, knowing that you killed your dad. Did you stab him?
I didn't think that I did.
But if you did, where would you have stabbed him?
It might have been the belly.
They learned that Tom's father was alive and well and was at LAX airport ready to take a flight to go visit his sister.
Steering filed a civil rights lawsuit in federal court against the city of Fontana, and the suit was settled for nearly $900,000.
Now, while both of these cases fall under the umbrella category of deception, you may have noticed they were starkly different in nature. One consisted of the futility technique and maximization. The inevitability of outcome was imposed to such an extent that it caused the subject to have an emotional crisis, while the other consisted of rapport development and minimization. There was no applied pressure nor manufactured sense of urgency, and the subject was given the space to construct his own perception of the situation, then full flexibility in how he chose to respond. One worked through fear and coercion, the other through guile and manipulation. But more importantly, one can cause considerable harm to the innocent, while the other presents a far lower risk of doing so. And as you've seen throughout this video, it can be somewhat effective when used correctly.
It's those two cases were so different. Yeah, like coercion is the main thing. Like
I love their breakdown on it, though.
Yeah, it was nice.
I love their description.
Like there's no coercion in this case right now. It's just
rapport
building,
like,
rapport building, and giving him an opportunity to.
There was never any like, you did it. Like he's the one that came out and said, I shot her, I chopped her up, I stabbed her. He didn't say stabbed her.
They never were accusatory at all throughout the entire interrogation.
No, they let him do his own damage.
Yeah, he was confident enough that he was going to nail it. He just let it all out.
But anyway, here's the remaining segment of Ferlazzo's redacted footage, right about the time where he realizes he just told on himself.
So this was previously redacted.
Yeah.
I gotta pee.
Knowing full well exactly where she is and what he has done to her. He texts her phone one last time.
Yeah.
You're an I don't deserve this shit.
Wow.
Ms. Adams told you in the state's opening statement that this case and this crime is about ego, Mr. Ferlazzo's ego, and Mr. Ferlazzo's nearly 42-year-old ego being unable to accept his 22-year-old wife disrespecting him. An ego so inflated that after killing her, taking her life because he didn't like the things she was saying to him, because she didn't want to be with him anymore, he calls her an ass. He tells her that he doesn't deserve this. The state submits that it is Emily, and only Emily, that did not deserve this.
How do you find Mr. Ferlazzo on the count of first-degree murder, guilty or not guilty?
My night.
Ms. Jantz, would you like us to poll?
I would.
And Mr. Zago, is that your verdict?
His reaction wasn't recorded as his term was read out, but Joseph Ferlazzo was sentenced to 45 years to life in prison, a punishment many have argued was unexpectedly lenient. He was subsequently investigated for the cold case murder of his stepmother. No charges have since been filed, and the case remains open to this day.
Okay. I would love a follow-up on that. So that was like totally different style than the other crime times that we've done, and I liked it.
Yeah.
It's a nice switch up, like just to balance out the different styles of videos that we're watching. I like that a lot.
Yep.
So,
JCS criminal psychology, very popular for obvious reasons. It's the breakdowns of the actual interrogations and stuff that's very interesting.
It is.
Much different than just watching police body cam footage of stuff like that, which is interesting as well. But we've had some requests too of people that want to watch JCS, and they have a back catalog of a lot of hugely viewed videos on YouTube. So, you know, they're not going to be fresh finds, but I think it'll be fun for people that maybe haven't seen them or even that have to watch them together with us as we digest them for the first time. I've never seen a JCS criminal psychology video in my life until right now.
You never got your answer about the stabbing. They really never dove into that.
Yeah, what the hell? That randomly they were like, by the way, she got stabbed 11 times?
18.
Or were they
shot twice.
Were they like just kind of lumping that like her getting cut up into stabbing?
I don't think so.
Because like cutting someone up after the fact is different than like
Of course.
stabbing.
Than like angry stab.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing.
But it sounds
on
like
that.
the shots are what did her in.
Yeah, usually 2 headshots with a pistol will do you in.
Two in
pretty
the
good.
head leave him dead.
Oh my God.
That's from a show.
I know it is. Guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of Crime Time. My wife and I do enjoy getting to relax on these couches and digest some of this stuff. This new JCS video was definitely an interesting one, and we hope you guys enjoyed it sitting on your couch alongside with us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.